Hello and welcome to another update video about Natgas. Yes, still in the downside movement. In the last video we explored if this movement to the upside could be anything bullish, but it certainly wasn't an impulse. It could have become a diagonal pattern, but it retraced too much, as you can see. So it basically made a new low here, and now we're heading into the weekend. But yeah, this was clearly not the movement to the upside in a fourth wave yet. So it's this market needs a lot of patience. We are still heading further down, and we talked about the different support levels. This, by the way, the spot market chart. I have now added some subwave structures here to this blue C wave. Remember what we talked about? Bigger picture, we talked about that the move which ended here on the, I think it was the 22nd of February, was probably a third wave low. That this here could be a flat pattern in an A wave, a B wave, and then a C wave. That's certainly still a scenario I would personally prefer. The reason why this is likely is that first of all, the wave 4 was very shallow. It didn't really reach the minimum targets that you would normally expect it to reach. For example, we can just go back to the larger time frame. Look at what would you normally expect from such a fourth wave, Elliott wave 4. Well, we take, for example, here the move of the third wave. Yeah, if you take the whole thing into account, this move down there wasn't really significant enough for a fourth wave. So I'm going to hang on to this scenario until it really gets invalidated or close to invalidation. Markets sometimes they want to go to the extremes. I mean, that's at least a likely opportunity or possibility. Looking at ideal targets for a fourth wave, normally you would expect the area between 321 and 448. Yeah, the 23.6 FIB level and the 50% between that. But we haven't even reached the 23.6 FIB level. So I'm not convinced this was already all of wave 4. Is it possible? Yeah, of course. I mean, there is no rule that says a wave 4 needs to do this or that. But well, there are rules about wave 4, but there is not a rule about, wave 4 needs to retrace at least 23.6% of wave 3. But it's certainly something that's about likelihoods. Yeah, markets are always probabilistic, so this is all about probabilities. While there are clear rules, there is no rule clearly about how much does a wave 4 need to retrace. But it's all about proportions and likelihoods. Of course, there are some guidelines, and what we've seen here was just too weak for a wave 4. Of course, it's possible that we say, okay, this fourth wave possibly finished here and we're already in the fifth wave. Yeah, that's still possible as well. But I'm currently viewing this scenario as my primary, where at some point we should still see a C wave to the upside, which means what is the knowledge that it gives us? It means that should we see an impulsive rally, it could just be a C wave of a fifth wave, yeah? But ultimately, we need to take it level by level, okay? So what are the next key support levels here? Natgas spot. We've got 182 and 172. Below 172, I cannot uphold anymore the overshooting B wave scenario, which is overshooting here to the downside, which should then still result in a C wave. But below the 1.38 retracement, this is not possible anymore. Again, I've added a subwave structure here. You can see we made an AB. This here is now the C wave, which consists of 1, 2, 3. The wave 4 here broke to the downside. I'm now seeing or viewing this actually as an Elliott wave triangle. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. You can count that very nicely on the futures chart as well. So if I look at this wave 3 here, yeah, on the 31st of March, A wave up, B wave down, C, D, E. Certainly a likely and valid count, which should then result in a fifth wave to the downside. And it should end ideally below 192. And an ideal target here would be 182 or 172 before we have the next chance for a reversal. If we now break above the E wave high, which is also the wave 4 high, that is at $2.09. I think we have a good case that a low could be in. Same story here for Natgas futures. I haven't labeled these subwaves, but it's very, very similar. Also here, probably a triangle in this fourth wave. Can be counted a little bit different, but also a valid triangle count. Here we have the idea that this could have been an A, B, C, D, E. certainly a valid count. And here on the Natgas futures chart, we have a little bit more room to drop before we invalidate an overshooting B wave scenario. So here we could drop to 197 next. That's the next support. Then in my opinion, 168 and 156. And only really below that, I cannot consider this anymore an overshooting B wave to the downside. Should result anyway, ideally into a C wave and then a wave 4, which would eventually make one more low in wave 5. Yeah, and this is the situation we are in here at the moment. So no real change and downside movement continues. We just need a bit of patience, quite a lot of patience actually on the Natgas chart. But yeah, maybe next week we'll know a little bit more. Again, here on the Natgas futures chart, by the way, a break above the 224 level would indicate that a more substantial low has been made here. But for now, this is not the case. Okay, that's my update about Natgas. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.